A very good morning, all of you. I hope you all are doing well. Today, let us start with our first text, that is Desire Under the Elms. In my previous tutorial, when there are places where I have used the, please edit it for yourself that there is no the in the title. Sometimes these articles that are used, even the prepositions that are used in the title of any work for that matter, are really of great significance. Okay, so the play is Desire Under the Elms, written by Eugene Gladstone O'Neill. It was written in the year, published in the year, or staged or produced in the year 1924, and I told you in the last tutorial that O'Neill is known as the greatest Irish American writer, okay, and he is known as the Shakespeare of America. And this particular work, Desire Under the Elms, is known as an American classic, right? The most important reason being, of course, that it was a breakthrough from the tradition that was being followed by various playwrights, which I discussed when I introduced American drama to you. The main aspect is the use of realism in this particular play by O'Neill has made it a great American classic, right? So let us have a look at the important aspects as far as the play is concerned. So the first thing, now I think you guys should be in a position to know that when we are dealing with any drama for that matter, there are 4-5 heads which are of great importance. This is one text I am dealing with you. After that, you will be doing it for yourself, right? So you should know that when we are discussing any play, any drama for that matter, what are the things that we study? The most and the first important thing is the plot, then the structure, then the characters, then the themes. You know, these are broader areas of any play that we study, right? So on that basis, we discuss that what are the important aspects of any play. I hope I'm able to make my point, what I'm trying to say. You're trying to get it, that when we study any drama for that matter, it is always a set of 4 or 5 aspects which are always kept in mind when we study that particular play. And of course, the category to which it belongs, that is also important. That is how it makes 5. Your plot, your structure, the theme of the play, and your the genre to which it belongs, and of course the characters. That is how it goes about. Okay, so now coming back to our American classic Desire Under the Elms, the first and the most important thing which you will always discuss when you discuss the plot is what is the setting of the play, where has the play been set. And over here the setting is of great significance, because we are reading or dealing with this play as the best example of realism, right? So the setting is 1850, the year 1850s of New England farm, at USA, of course. Okay, so the year is 1850s, at the height of California gold rush, New England farm. So this dear farm is the reason behind our whole story, the New England farm, the setting of the play, and the year is 1850s. Okay, as things unfold, you will get to know what importance the New England farm holds. Before coming to the story, the play is divided into 3 acts, and each act has 3 scenes, right? Now let's talk about what the storyline is. That this is what includes the plot, right? First you discuss the story, and then you unveil things, you know, as we peel the onion, you know, as you keep peeling, the best things keep coming inside. That is what happens in the plot also. You tell the story, and then you correlate the cause and effect relationship in the plot. Okay, so story of Cabot family. The play is the story of Cabot family. The most important characters in this play being Ephraim Cabot is a 75-year-old man. Okay, his son, who is 27 or 25, Eben Cabot, and Abby Putnam. Now, these are the three important characters around whom I would say the plot revolves. Okay, I'm not just saying the story, but the plot revolves. Now, if I just have to deal with the story, I have to tell you the story of the play. It goes like this: that when the scene opens, when the play opens in the first act, the first scene, this old man, right? He is a hardworking man, a God-fearing man, and he is the owner of this New England farm, right? He has married thrice. The third marriage obviously happens in the play, but when the play opens, we get to know that his two wives are already dead. What connection they have, that will be revealed later. And Eben Cabot is the son from the second wife. The first wife who died, she also had two sons. They are, I would not say the significant characters, but yes, they too are the characters, Simon and Peter. So they are the children from the first wife, and Eben Cabot is their half brother. Okay. In the opening scene, as the play opens, what we see that the farm has been abandoned by all of them, right? Eben, Ephraim, and Simeon and Peter. Nobody is there at the farm at that point when the play opens. And we are also told that the sequence of events takes such a turn that these two brothers, half brothers, are kind of fooled by Eben, right? Eben steals his father's money, and he says that if I give you some money, he gives them, I think, around $300 each, and he says that on the condition that the farm is mine. And they leave. They take the money and they leave from there. After that, shortly, what happens? That Ephraim, these names are a little confusing, all having the same sounds. Ephraim Cabot, the father, he comes with the third wife, Abby Putnam. And in this very act, we get to know that Abby is the age of his daughter, right? But still, she marries a 75-year-old man only for one reason. And I hope you all can make a guess what that could be. This, the deer farm. Now you see what it is. He is not happy with his sons, right? Because they are tired of working at the farm. All these three sons, they hate their father because they believe that our father made our mothers work like hell, work like animals, and they died working on the farm, right? And they don't have any kind of possession of the farm. Now each and every character, now what O'Neill has shown us, that each and every character in the play is after this desire to own the farm. That is why I told you it is very significant. किस्सा ही farm का है. Every character for that matter, they want the farm, right? And this desire of materialistic things is what is termed as American dream, right? So the play presents the American dream, that is desire or love for material things in life. That is what is shown in the very opening act of the play. Now when the second act starts, in the process of events happening around, she has fallen in love with him, right? And she has started hating her old husband. But then she has to somehow make him happy. She has to somehow confer to the promise that she has made. Ephraim had promised her that if she gives him a son, the farm will be hers. Okay, but then in the second act, we see that the events make it very clear why she married him. She married him for the farm. And now since she is falling in love with Eben, her hatred is developing for this man, right? But then her psyche is almost, what should I say, dominated by this desire. She has to own the farm. But then how things happen or how things take place. Now this is all what goes on in the second act, and the most important event that happens or takes place in the act 2 is that Abby becomes pregnant with whose son? I hope you all can guess. Obviously Eben's son, whereas Ephraim is assured that it is his son, not Eben's son, right? And the final act, when it opens almost a year later. The baby is there, the party is going on, the celebration is going on in the New England farm, and she assures him that the baby is his. Of course, she has already assured that in the previous thing, but in the present final scene, the act, I will say, not the scene. I'm not going into many details, I'm just giving you the storyline, okay? So what happens in the final, what we call the exposition, what happens is that Abby is now deeply in love with Eben, right? And she is making him realize, she is assuring him that the baby is yours, right? But he doesn't agree, he doesn't listen to him. And in the process, I would not say process, but in this effort to make him realize that the son is his, Eben's son, she finds out only one solution to make him realize what? To make him realize her love for Eben, that she commits infanticide. She kills the infant, right? And he is obviously not sure, but out of anger, he hands over her to the sheriff, and later things take such a turn that Eben realizes that Abby's love for him is very true, right? And she was, even if she murdered their child, it was not Ephraim's child, it was their child. He says that somehow even I am responsible, or even I am a party to the crime. That is what he thinks, and he also goes to the police, the sheriff, and he surrenders there. And of course they both are put behind the bars and they have to deal with the punishment. Now, what is O'Neill, or what has O'Neill done through this storyline, or the story of Cabot family? He is trying to tell us that every human for that matter has desires. It may be materialistic, it may be physical, sexual, or it may be worldly desires, right? But then what happens from where is the outcome of the tragedy or the human tragedy is the desires. Tragedy of human condition resulting from greed, desire, and revenge. Greed, everybody was greedy for the farm. Everybody had desire for the farm. And as far as the revenge concept is concerned, it is Eben who is revenging on his father because he believes that he has murdered, Ephraim has murdered Mo. Mo is Eben's mother. The name of the first wife is not given. So he has murdered her by making her overwork on the farm, right? So eventually, whether we talk of the realistic aspect, how realism has been dealt with in the play is that O'Neill has made an effort to, through the characters, through the actions of the characters and through the events in the play, he has made an effort to tell us that human tragedy is something, or tragedy of the play shows us the tragedy of human condition resulting from greed, desire, and revenge. That is the ultimately cause, he says, why humanity suffers, why there is sadness in people's life, why there are traumas, right? Particularly tragedy, isko kyun hum we are calling it, because of the infanticide that has taken place, because of the two wives that have already been killed, not killed, but how they have died. As we read the play, there are places where we get to know how overworked the two were, and how these things, this is what ultimately makes the play a tragedy. And when I was dealing with O'Neill's bio, I also told you that he was, in his initial years when this play was written, he was under the European influence of the European realist, where I mentioned Ibsen, where I mentioned Strindberg and all, right? So what he has done in this particular play, he is, the plot elements and the themes of the play are based on Greek tragedy. Okay, he has used that as a model. You must keep in mind that these Greek tragedies, Greek works, they are the model of this tragedy, Desire Under the Elms. Okay, and what he has done by using these elements and themes, he has themes, of course, the major remains this, whereas we can have many more themes over here. The moral and physical entanglements to present complexities of family life. Now, this is the same thing but put in different words. He has used Greek elements. I will be dealing with the topic that what mythological aspects have been used in the play in detail in my next coming tutorials, so things will be more clear to you. But what you have to remember is that the mythical significance or the Greek influence or the Greek tragedy model has been used by O'Neill to focus on this particular thing, to bring about this particular thing, that ultimately it is human desire, the human instinct of desire to own material things, which eventually leads to his destruction, his traumas, his turmoils, and obviously the human tragedy. Okay? So these are the main aspects. This was the storyline, the plot. I have given you an idea what it was. And as far as the play is concerned, now what I want you all to do, that you will all be writing the act-wise summary of the play, okay? and I will be dividing that who will talk about what. Obviously, we are not going into detail of the summary. Now, I would prefer to discuss the topics with you. I will take your video presentation on the topics. So first, let me deal with what I have to. My first attempt would go for the mythological elements over here, then the symbolism and realism. Obviously, these are the main ones. So maybe you can work on themes and other simpler topics which are, a general aspect. But when we go into the myth, there are certain things which we need to understand. Okay, so the title, this was one thing which I didn't touch upon. Now you can understand desire under the elms. Elms is a huge symbol that has been huge symbol of great significance that has been used by O'Neill over here. And there are critics who even say that the two elms, which hover on the farm, they too are important characters in the play. You will read at places if you tend to read more, They too are another characters in the play. Of course, being other things also being symbols in the play. So ultimately, desire under the elms is the desire which each and every character has for owning the farm. Okay, so that is what makes the play Desire Under the Elms. So we continue with the discussion in the next tutorial. For today, I hope I have very precisely touched upon the important things. Now, don't get confused. Remember that these are the same things that are being discussed. Whether I talk of American Dream, whether I talk of the tragedy, why it takes place, what is the tragedy of human condition, and how the model of Greek tragedy, how it has been followed, how the Greek themes have been used, the plot has been used to bring out this human folly, desire for materialistic things. Okay, so that is all as far as the important aspects are concerned. We may continue. Keep making your notes side by side. It will be very helpful. Okay, once we are done, I will be taking some quick quizzes with you so that I know whether you're watching it or not. Okay, that's all. Thank you so much. Take care.